Well, as requested, someone wanted to see a little more of the movie projectors here. So I got sewing machine oil here. I had this for many years. And according to the book, which one of my viewers was so kind enough to give me a link to the manual, the operating user's manual for this. And there are spots on here, places to oil this, but according to the book, some places only require 2 drops maximum, others take 4 drops. It's going to be very hard to, especially with my eyesight, to judge how many drops are going in each hole. But my feeling is that this thing probably has never been lubricated, and the manual says only once a year. But of course, this probably hasn't been used in many, many years. And when the lady that had it, her mom had these, and that's probably why she went to the dual projector, which I have not plugged in yet, and I may plug that in on this video too. The sun is starting to go down here a little bit in the horizon, as you can see by the long shadows here. So I had better get started on this thing before I'm in darkness. Alright, I should have brought out my big tripod. Now, there's little oil holes here. And trying to go from memory, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 holes here. I think 3 of them only take 2 drops maximum, and the others take 4 drops maximum. That's going to be hard. I have to go back on the computer and look at it. But it's very noisy, and I was told that these projectors are one of the quietest running projectors, so I will commence to oil them up with the sewing machine oil that I've got here, which I think is a good oil to use. Okay. All right. It'll be very difficult to see 1 or 2 drops coming out. But I'll just put the oil in. And so like every time I do a video, there's got damn motorcycles that gotta be coming by. Not sure, did I get this one? I don't know if I got that one. Yeah, I got it. Oh, okay. And I got one down here at the motor. All right. Let's plug her in. Let's turn her on. Seems to slow down when I kick it in gear. That's not a good sign. See, I hear it speed up. Here's the clutch. I kick it in, which turns the sprockets. Now, of course, I can turn this up to make up for it. Maybe it just needs to be run a little bit. Now, according to the book, that's all the holes there are for oiling. Of course, it's telling you to take the lens off when you're doing this. Alright, we'll disengage the clutch. That don't sound right. It shouldn't die down like that, load the motor. Possible that the motor, if it uses brushes, this projector claims to run on AC or DC. 110 to 120 volts AC or DC. So the motor's probably got brushes, and it's probably needs brushes. I would say it does, because this looks like you got one of these on each end, so there's brushes. Probably the brushes are worn, and who knows if you can ever replace them or not. And here's I found out what this is. This opens your film gate here, and with the film gate open, you can clean it out and so forth. So, there's a hole here, but it doesn't say anything in the book about this being an oiling hole also. I would be kind of leery about putting oil in there, because the ones with the little silver openings are where the oil goes, but it does not show putting oil here, so I wouldn't put oil there, because that's a little warm. The rest of this is cold, but this end is a little warm. I'm going to try to peek in there and see if I can see any sparkles. It's got the sun right on it, so I doubt I'll be able to see it. And see if I can see any sparking, but I don't think it's open too well. There's some vents in here, but that's about it. I'll come back in a minute. Okay, now I got this set about halfway, but that don't mean anything, because you set it for where there's the least amount of flicker and people aren't moving too slow or too fast on the film. But when you kick this in, listen to the die down here. Okay, now this spins right here, then just put a little drag on it. I can almost stop it. I'm not really pressing hard. So the motor isn't very strong. I'm probably going to say that the brushes are bad, but I don't want to loosen, because, you know, they could be so small and short that they could fall out of place completely. And the motor is 110 volts or 120 volts AC or DC, because I just looked it up on the plate here. In addition to that, let me slow that down. Let me slow it down really good here. There's a claw in there. You can see it move. I don't know if you can see that in the on the magnifying glass or on the video, but the claw is moving. So it's dirty in there too. It needs to be cleaned out. So I oiled it, and it doesn't seem to be, I don't know, maybe it's a little quieter, but they do make some noise. I mean, you know, the projectors do make a noise. You got the fan in here, you know. Of course, that's full speed right there. Then when you kick it in, I don't think it's that bad. Don't forget, you're not watching a movie on a VHS or a digital machine. So this is mechanical, so you're going to have some noises in it. But it is an old machine, and they probably were noisier than these type here. I'm going to plug this in. I haven't tried this yet to see if this one works, but I don't have film right handy now to try either one of these out on film, and I wouldn't do that until these are cleaned up anyways. Okay. Alright, I took a chance and put oil in here because that would be the front bearing. It's running a little warm. Now I looked in here. The sun is away off of this thing now, so, and I didn't see any sparking, so I couldn't, by looking in here, I didn't see any sparking. So, but I still think maybe the brushes are probably bad, and that's why she dies down when you put it in gear or put the clutch on. Alright, well anyways, as I said, we're going to move on to this one now. Well, the sun is behind the trees and, well, we're losing daylight here. Anyways, here is the Ansco Vision, model 588. And we're going to plug her in and just give her a little check. Now the newer projectors gave you a bigger picture. Of course the Super 8 is 50% larger frame anyways, but even projecting regular 8 on these things, you didn't have to be 25 or 30 feet away from the screen in order to get a decent sized picture. Whereas you have to be about 25 feet away to get a 2-foot wide picture on the movie screen on that REVERE. This, I don't think you have to be that far away to get the same size picture. The newer projectors have a bigger lens, and they're more of a wider lens. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug this in just to see if we get anything. And this is a 400 foot capacity, and I can tell that this is definitely a bigger reel, and it's only a 300 foot capacity on the REVERE Model 85. Which means all my regular 8s are all on 400 foot reels, and I would not be able to project them on the Model 85. I'd have to use this because this is a dual projector, but it's a self-threading. And self-threading has always been a problem. When they work great, but when they mess up, they mess your film up big time. And because you have no control with the loop, and everything's done all automatically. So what we're going to do here is simply plug it in, and we're going to just try it out, try the bulb and see if that still works and stuff like that. This is a silent projector. As I mentioned in my other video, I had 4. Hey, what are you doing up there, Sammy? Boy, you're feeling a lot better. Anyways, I had 4 projectors that I gave away, 2 of which were sound. One was a GAF and one was, I'm not sure what the other one was, but they were automatic threading, and both of them 8 film up. Because you can't fix these things inside, because everything, you can't get at them. Whereas a manual thread, you can shut the machine off and adjust the loops again by just pulling down the film after you shut the projector off and, disengage it, and, you can pull the film down. And usually when you lose the loop is when you have a bad sprocket or a bad splice, or, of course, if you have a break in the film, everything just stops anyways. Alright, enough chatter. Let's get this thing plugged in. This is pretty bad. I got to use a flashlight outside. Okay. Alright, there's an adjustment for standard 8mm and Super 8. I think there's I'm not sure how that goes here. And that's the focus control. Right here. This is the framing control. I think. Oh, that don't turn. Here's a framer. Seems to be jammed, I guess. Well, let's turn her on Let's see what we got here. Hang on a minute, I gotta get my magnifying glass out and I gotta lay this on the side. You won't be able to see it anyway, so hang on. Alright. Alright, let's see. We'll turn her on. Boy. That don't look too good. There's a lot of flicker there. But you can hear how much quieter these things are. The newer ones were always very quiet anyways. Alright, we don't want to burn the bulb out there. This is rewind. Well, that sounded like it speeded up that time. Pretty strong rewind. Now, see if the fast forward. Not sure what that is. That's a rewind. That's a rewind. The other one was supposed to be stop. Well, that's supposed to be stop also. There's a stop on this side and there's a stop on this side. Well, that don't look like it's stopping. That sounds better. Sounds a lot better. It's going faster now. I guess it just needs, well, the take-up ain't working. This should be taken out because the film's going through. The supply reel is free running, which is normal. But the take-up is supposed to be moving, otherwise this film's going to spill all over the room here. Because it's projecting. Nope. So anyways, it needs work. Although there's plenty of sun up in the trees up there, but out in the yard here it's getting too dark to do any work like this. So, alright, so we know that it needs work. Probably, if it uses a belt, I would imagine, it probably needs a belt. I think the motor's alright. Probably needs some lubrication inside, and so on and so forth. It don't take up that much room. Neither one of these things take up that much room in the shed. So I can store them in the Dorkel shed. I got a little bit of room in there until I'm ready to do something with them. If I ever do anything with them. Well, thank you for watching. I promised one of my viewers that I'll do something on the movies, and there may be in the future, I don't know yet, don't count on it, but there might be something done with film, but I am not positive about that because that involves so much work, and my film. The problem with the films are that I've got, the oldest film that I've got is 1964, and they use the Kodak splicing tapes on those, and the tape after a while just separates. It don't hold anymore. So all the splicing that I've done years ago is all coming apart on me. And some of the tape is unraveling and jams up into the projector too. So, and then even the stuff that I've done in the 60s and very early 1970s. That's about the last time I used movie projectors. Is about I would say I think it was 1978. It's about the last time I ever used movie cameras. And after that, a few years later, I started using video, old video cameras. So those splices are all falling apart. So it's not worth wrecking the film. I've already got some that fell apart on me, some that jammed up on me in those projectors I gave away. And I'm afraid to run them to something like this, because there's a possibility that this could chew up what little film I've got left. And they're very, very expensive, anywhere from 10 to 20 cents a foot. That represents a lot of money to have them professionally done. And the vacations I'm not too worried about, because none of the recordings I made are really all that important anyways. But the family stuff, which I managed to get onto video by using my Kodak Ectosound, I think it's an Ectosound 245. If you remember the Kodak Ectosound 245, it had a wooden case. It looked like a reel-to-reel tape recorder. It was about 2 feet long, about 4 to 5 inches thick, and it had a plastic cover that went over the top to protect it. And it had a flip mirror, so you can set this on a bookcase and project from the front of the projector, or flip the mirror and go out to the back of the projector. And I had a pull-down movie screen in my old bedroom in the old house. It's still hanging on the wall, by the way. That I used to project my movies on and do all my movie editing and sound narration, because that projector had a microphone and a ability to record narration onto sound movie film. Sound 8mm, Super 8mm movie film was had a magnetic stripe running down opposite side of the film, opposite the sprockets, and you could record on it. They don't make sound movie films anymore. I understand you can still get silent, but it's quite expensive, and it's not worth shooting film anymore in this day and age. But these are nice things to look back on, and so that's the story there. Sorry for the long chat, but when I get talking, I never know enough to shut up. Thanks for watching.